Welcome to a vlog for the Readathon Rebellion. This is a readathon created by Mel from Mel Lenore Reads. It is a roll-as-you-go game board readathon with a whole backstory. It is a lot of fun. I will have her announcement video linked for you. This will be returning next year to my knowledge, so if you enjoy this style of readathon, make sure you're on the lookout for the next version of it. I will be rolling as I go, reading books, figuring out what I'm reading as the prompts tell me. There's a range of stuff in this video: horror, thriller, contemporary romance, some fantasy, so it's a really good mix. I had so much fun with this readathon. If you cannot tell, I'm filming this a little bit late. I had some very interesting results with the books that I read too, so I wasn't expecting certain things, but I'm excited to talk to you about all these books.
Are you filming?
Yes.
Okay, Lexi's first roll. I hope it gives her something good, I guess. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you need to do objective 1 as well as a side quest.
What's the side quest?
I gotta go get my phone to find that out.
Objective 1 is to read a book with 2 or more points of view. So I will be reading Don't Let Him In by Lisa Jewell. This has more than 2 perspectives, all following this horrific, awful man. I have been reading Don't Let Him In. It's taken me a very long time to get to where I am. I have been mentally not struggling because I don't feel like anything is wrong. I'm not sad. I'm just kind of existing with the not capability to make myself do anything. So I'm well, I do need to do this, and I want to do it because I want it to be done, but there's just something in my brain that's no, we can't do anything right now. And it's been very frustrating, and I think it might be executive dysfunction with ADHD. But it's been a really rough week for that. I've been reading the first 100 pages of this for over a week. It's the middle of the month. I expected to be way further in this readathon vlog at this point, but it is what it is. Even though I am liking it, it's to the point where picking up a book that I am enjoying is still very much a struggle. So I just wanted to be transparent with that, because sometimes reading is hard even if you love it and you are having a good time when you are doing it. So Don't Let Him In is a very anticipated read for me. Lisa Jewell's last book, None of This Was True, was one of my favorites of the year. But I do have a very mixed history with Lisa Jewell. I have given her books 5 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars, 2 stars. I've really disliked books from her, but then also loved them. So I was really anticipating this one, but still a little apprehensive. So this one is a little bit confusing. So we are following Ash. Her name is Ash. And she lives with her mom. Why am I getting really bad deja vu right now? Have I talked to you about this already? Don't know. So Ash lives with her mom, Nina, and her father and Nina's husband passed away about a year ago. It was this weird accident where, well, not an accident, somebody pushed him in front of a train, which is very horrific. And pretty much right after that, well, not right after, but about a year after, Nina gets this letter that's saying hey, I used to work with your husband. I really loved him. He was great, but we fell out of touch. But here's this letter that I ended up getting from him in the past. He left it somewhere, I grabbed it, I was oh, we'll get it back to him eventually, and never did. Thought you might like it. So they end up coming in contact and dating. Ash is very suspicious. She's it hasn't been that long. He has stuff in the freezer, things like that. She does not feel like there's been enough time. And who's to say the timeline on grief and moving on and letting yourself feel happy and things like that, but she feels that it is too fast. So we're getting Ash's perspective. She's very suspicious of this guy. His name is Nick. He is tall and has silver hair, and he seems to be a very perfect dude. But Ash is that's suspicious. So she's kind of investigating him a little bit. And then we're following Martha. She's a florist. She has an infant and a husband named Alistair. He has been traveling a lot for work, and a lot of the things he's saying doesn't really seem to line up. And he has an answer for everything, an explanation for things, and she still, once again, is like, that's suspicious. So we are getting the perspective of a guy 4 years earlier too. It seems to be Nick slash Alistair, which maybe is the same person based on the synopsis and people talking about this. It literally says he's the perfect man, it's a perfect lie. So like that implies to me that it's the same person we're following. So we're getting him 4 years earlier. He's married and suspicious things are happening. In the very first chapter, we see that he's very manipulative, awful, stealing money, and just doing whatever he needs to do and say to get money to kind of move on. And then we are learning about how he is kind of ending up interacting with people in the present that we are watching. So far I am enjoying it. It's not like my favorite thing I've ever read, but this man is pissing me off and it's doing its job. So like very effective. I will say there's not within like the plot that's super engaging. So I wish that there was a little bit more there, but it is what it is. I wanted to show you 3 books that I got in the mail recently. They're just like standard edition pre-orders, but they are 3 different horror books that are all really different and super anticipated by me. I don't know if I'll be able to fit them in this video, but I think this video could be like a heavy hitter in terms of books that I'm reading that like I'm super excited about. So first up I have The Extra by Annie Neugenbauer, and this is a sci-fi horror. It's by Shortwave Publishing, which I think is a really cool newer horror publishing company. But this one is following 10 people who are heading out on a backpacking trip. They set up camp the first night and there are 11 there. Everybody remembers everybody else. Who is the extra person? That sounds just truly incredible. These are all actually fairly short. So I also got House of Idol by Delilah S. Dawson. Guillotine and Bloom are 2 of my favorite books of the year. So I have high hopes for this one. A Hollywood Dream Turned Nightmare. A struggling singer-songwriter. I think, oh, there's some cool stuff in here. I think this one will be another fun one. And then The Burial Tide by Neil Sharpson. This is the author of Knock Knock Open Wide, which was one of my top favorites from last year. And this is following a woman with no memory claws her way out of a grave and back to life, but not everyone welcomes her return. Then there's this island with misshapen figures watching from trees. Really weird things going on. And the more she remembers, the more the village will do anything to stop her. But the sea remembers it all. His first book's really weird, so I expect that one to be as well. So probably 3 of my most anticipated books for like recent publishing. I like how I have this the wrong way, but I wanted to show you this. Hello. Matt, you were just like, sorry. You don't need to be sorry. That's so funny. Hello, we're at the National Book Festival. I'm currently in line for Stephen Graham Jones and Augustina Bazterrica at the same time. Sorry to these people walking by me, don't look at them. I am here with Nat, who you saw, and Court and Monica, and this is my second time filming this because I forgot to connect my mic and it's probably so loud in here. Carly, I don't know where Carly is. Carly's over there waiting in the other line. It's very busy. There are lots of people, more people than I thought for Stephen Graham Jones, considering his books have a lot of pretty low ratings. But we had some good chicken tenders. I'm gonna get some ice cream later. I'm really close to this microphone, but I don't want people to look at me, even though I'm being stared at by the people here that I know. You wanna do that again? So yeah, it's oh, okay, I'm gonna go, so I'm not recording people anymore.
I had to choose from my snack. I was like, I can't bring 10.
Oh, well. Thank you.
We are in line for Paul Tremblay.
Well, this well-worn hardcover, right?
Uh-huh.
I have been on and off listening to the audiobook for Don't Let Him In. And this book, oh my god, I feel like it's been so frustrating to read. I'm in the middle of part 4. My thought is, why is this still going on? I don't understand, because at first I was like, oh yeah, like I'm feeling the emotions the author wants me to feel, and I get it, but it's so boring at this point. How many times can I watch this guy be like, oh, woe is me, I need money, and then watching someone give him money, even though they're initially like, no, I can't, but I love you so much, so here's $3,000 that I don't have but somehow managed to get for you. And I get that he's a con man, but how entertaining is it to watch over and over and over him just like being so annoying and people falling for it? And I get it. I understand that if you are outside of like this whole money thing, being treated in the way that you want to be treated, everything feels very nice. He always speaks nicely to you. He does things without having to be asked, things like this. But I feel like his best personality trait is that he's tall and is aging well. But that's also his own self-proclaimed thing. But like all these people, he has like 5 relationships that we're watching him in where he's just trying to get money from them, and I don't know how much longer I can do it. That being said, this like probably might be a 3-star book depending on the end, and I thought that I was liking it. At the beginning I was liking it, and when I have been like in the middle of it, I'm like, okay, I think I'm liking it. Things are moving quickly, but like we're moving from one couple to the next where he is a part of all of them, just watching him gaslight them, steal their money, and it's just boring at this point. I will say the other Lisa Jewell books that I have not liked, even though this one's like mid leaning towards I'm not liking it at this point, I thought those ones were like a little not my favorite in the mental health department. I would not have made the choices. I mean, let's be real, I'm not an author. But I wouldn't have, like, I didn't love the choices regarding that. But this one I'm just finding boring and repetitive, and just like, how much can I personally put up with this book? Do I need to know how everything wraps up? Honestly, no, I don't at this point. And sometimes books are not the best, but they're entertaining, and this one is not really entertaining. I want it to be messier, or I want it to be way more things going on, because he's the same in every single relationship that he's in. It's just so repetitive, and I am also being repetitive right now because of that, so I'm gonna shut up and I guess finish the book. But this is not going how I wanted it to, and I hope it doesn't continue to go downhill. Okay, so I finished this one. I'm gonna give it 2.5 stars. I can appreciate the discussions surrounding a very self-centered, possibly narcissistic character who is willing to screw over people he claims that he loves to get what he wants. We are watching him in these different relationships with different people, and it starts off with like a good seeming relationship. He's like, oh, I'm finally happy. And then when they don't do everything he wants, then it starts to go downhill, and he's like, okay, well, what's my next plan? So the discussions surrounding that were good, but other than that, I thought this was so boring. Really, really repetitive. There was nothing that interesting. I really wish that the different women we were seeing this man with had different experiences with him. And I understand that, like, logistically, he's the same guy, so it makes sense that they're all having a somewhat similar experience, but it's really boring to read. And I didn't want him to be wildly different, but it all was just, like, almost exactly the same. And none of the characters, the women that he was with, were really standouts to me either. So I did not really love this one, which isn't surprising to me. I mean, I wanted to like it, but I have read None of This Is True, which I gave 5 stars. The Night She Disappeared, which I gave 5 stars. The Family Upstairs, I gave 4. Watching You, and Then She Was Gone, I gave 2 stars. And I Found You, I gave 4 stars. So I don't love everything from her. I don't expect to going forward. I think this one had the potential to be something I would really like, But I also don't really love to read about gaslighting. There's a lot of that in this as well. So it is what it is. There are still people that are liking this on Storygraph. A lot of the people that I'm friends with have given this one 4 stars. So I would still maybe recommend checking it out if you are interested in it, but it just sadly was not for me. So I did need to do the objective for this, but we still have Mel to help me out to complete my first roll. So let's go back to that.
I'm actually going to roll out of 10 for your side quest because I don't know which number you need, and that feels like a good thing to do. So if we get a 12, we'll just reroll. 7. Okay. Not only is the mountain full of guards, but you've done your research so you know exactly what the worm-like creatures are and how to get rid of them. Go ahead of the group and dispatch the monsters. So read a book with a creature on the cover.
I got some worm books.
Think about that. Yeah, I feel like Lexi has plenty of worm books, so I need to think about it though. I don't know any worm books off the top of my head.
It doesn't have to be worms.
I don't know any books with creatures on the cover off the top of my head. Okay.
We have a helper here.
My sources tell me that on Lucky Day there is like this eyeball-y looking creature. So you need to read Lucky Day by Chuck Tingle. Stop calling me!
I have made it about halfway into Lucky Day. I'm 107 pages in, and this both is so strange and I don't really know what's going on, and also kind of boring, and I think that that is the fault of the main character. She's so into statistics and probability and all this stuff that like that is her personality. I am not getting the creepiness and all of that I've gotten from his previous books that I have loved. I have been so just like viscerally affected by his writing in Bury Your Gaze and Camp Damascus, and I'm not really feeling that in this one. We're following Vera, and she is a statistics professor at the very beginning, and there's an unthinkable disaster that is like really weird. So she is about to publish this book on statistics, and she's at this brunch to celebrate with her fiance and her mom does not know that she's engaged to a woman, so she is coming out to her in this moment. It's this whole thing. Her mom really sucks, and her response is frustrating, and this deals with like bi erasure and stuff like that. In this book, like that is the overall like queer theme that Chuck Tingle is discussing, because that's something in all of his horror books. So there's this low probability event where 8 million people are killed in a very strange way. I won't tell you anything about that, but like you probably can't predict what it is. And now we are following Vera 4 years later, and she has shut down. She barely exists. She really is not having a good time, and a lot of it is like her own choosing. Like she's choosing to only eat ramen, and she's choosing to whatever, and like not in a way where like she could just like knock it off, because she clearly like went through a very horrific thing. The problem is, so did like millions and millions of other people. So luck is really playing a factor in this book, and things that are very slim chances of happening actually happening. So she is contacted by this guy, Special Agent Lane, and he is investigating these specific like specific events and wants her to help, and she's like, I don't care about anything, why would I do that? And then ends up helping anyway. So there's this casino that he believes to be involved. Everybody that died in this freak accident day pretty much was somehow connected to this casino, and this casino is known for people winning really big. They give out the like best percentage of payouts, things like that. So they're going to investigate it. I don't really like our main character. I think that she doesn't seem to have much of a personality, which part of it is because she is just like in this very depressive state. But even outside of that, like the glimpses we are seeing of her just is not really that engaging to me. And then also they're kind of just traveling around a lot, going to see this thing, going to see this thing, and I don't love that in books either. I think it could still be a 3-star, maybe 4, depending on how the rest of it goes. This book is somehow both like so weird and also kind of boring at the same time, and I don't know how that is being accomplished. Unrelated, I just saw, okay, a couple years ago, there was the whole thing with the Try Guys with Ned, who cheated on his wife, but he was known as being the guy that, like, was obsessed with his wife and whatever. He's making a podcast, and the clips I've seen, like, I don't want to watch the whole thing because I don't want to listen to him talk for an hour, but the woman he cheated on is doing the podcast with him. They have 2 kids, and I've seen clips. And his reaction to things, like, I'm just pissed off. I'm pissed off. But I was so invested in all of this stuff when it came out. I still do watch the Try Guys sometimes. But, like, I did watch, like, I found them in high school. And the whole thing was just, it was a mess. And now he's continuing to make a mess of it. And it's just, it's frustrating. So I'm probably going to think about that for a while. I'm excited to talk to my sister about it because she is, like, very aware of, like, pop culture things as well. I'm going to go drive to my parents' house. We're having a s'mores night. My plan is to finish Lucky Day. I think I have just enough time on my drive to finish it, or maybe just a couple minutes at the end that I will need. I'm a little disappointed, even though I'm still liking it. I am in the car. I don't know what this material is, but, like, this dust on here does not come off, so ignore that. I have quite a few updates for you. I think I talked about it earlier in this video, but I am, like, truly really struggling with reading this month. I don't know what it is. I am struggling to, like, get myself to do a lot of things, even things I want to be doing, so it's really frustrating. But I got a free smoothie, so obviously I'm going to take advantage of that, and I want to talk to you about finishing Lucky Day by Chuck Tingle. I'm not going to hold it up because I'm in the parking lot and there are people around me, and I don't want them to look at me just, like, holding a book up for no reason, but it is this one. I ended up giving this one 3 stars. I have finished it a bit ago at this point. It's one of those things where I, like, couldn't force myself to film. I also was out of town for a little bit, not planned. Well, part of it was planned and then it was extended because my sister ended up getting surgery and no one else was able to be with her, so I had to, like, cancel some stuff, move some stuff around. So yeah, I finished this in the waiting room at the hospital, so I was not gonna whip out my camera and vlog in the hospital waiting room. I did like this. I liked parts of it. I'm going to give it 3 stars. So it is my least favorite from him because I gave Straight and Camp Damascus 4 stars. And then Bury Your Gaze was 5 stars. I would recommend this. It's just not my preferred style of horror book. I think part of it is I went in expecting it to be something different. I expected it to be very, like, focused on this casino and the casino itself doing weird things. And while that's, like, partially the case, I don't love books where the main characters are going to a place, an event happens, and then they go to another place and another event happens. And this one is a little different from that because they are going to investigate these things. There's this big event that kicks off the book, and then that leads our main character's life to be completely changed, and it is involved with her, like, her job with statistics and stuff. I think she was a bit boring as well. I think that the premise of this was really cool, even though it was different from what I expected. I just, like, I don't know, I wasn't ever obsessed with anything. With his other books, there were moments where I'm, like, genuinely creeped out and disturbed, and for some reason, this one just didn't work for me. I think it was maybe too weird because I couldn't really grasp onto anything. And then our main character was kind of boring. This FBI agent that comes in, kind of boring. There wasn't any, like, entertainment factor with them. And then with the plot being something that, like, the structure of the plot with, like, them moving around to these events, I just don't love that. I didn't love it in, like, When the Wolf Comes Home by Nat Cassidy earlier this year either, which I also gave 3 stars. So I need to kind of be on the lookout for things like that in books so that maybe I don't pick up ones that are like that, because, like, they're fine, but I find them a little repetitive and boring, even if the thing that happens at this new place is different. I will say Chuck Tingle always has incredible discussions in his books. I appreciate the discussion on bi erasure, the fact that people think that people that are bi don't exist just because they maybe don't understand it, or they're like, it's a phase, or you'll realize, like, which way, whatever, like, so there was conversation on that. There's someone pulling up directly beside me. I have seen people saying that Chuck Tingle is doing that, but that's clearly not the point if you read the whole book or any of his other books or see anything he does on the internet. So, like, I think some comprehension skills aren't the best, but I have finished this. I'm not going to hold it up again because there is somebody directly beside me, and they pulled in, like, opposite so that our front doors are, like, our driver doors are next to each other. So, don't love that. I have done my next roll. I do think that I've logged that. So here's that. Now that I have to do spins for myself, I am going to be doing the board digitally because that's a lot of ink, and going to Staples to get it printed feels like a lot of work. So we're going to do roll 2. I just have a dice roll on Google. Oh, I accidentally removed one of these dice, so I have to... Nope. Okay, I have to re-add them back. I've never used this before. Okay, I'm just gonna click this to add the dice. So 6. Ooh, doubles. So we have to move 12, which takes us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I have a training and then objective 2. Please let me be able to double up on these. Okay, so objective 2 is a social media scroll. And then I need to get a training. And this was the 5th training prompt, so I'm just going to do that one. So for that one, the mission requires more than just brawn, you need brains. Read up on your history so that you are fresh for anything that comes your way. Read a book that was published prior to your last read. Okay, so Lucky Day was published super, super recently, August 12th. So anytime before then is perfect. So on Instagram, I'm going to scroll hopefully until I find something that I have. I've already read those. I have no idea what that is. Love Cats. That is not out. I'm doing great. Okay, I literally just got this arc. I'm screaming, but that didn't come out before. I don't know what half of these things are, and there's so many sponsored posts. No. I'm not seeing... Oh, what is this? Oh, interesting. I've already read that. There is nothing coming up. Nothing. None of these are on my TBR, like, in any sense. What about this? Oh, wait, this might be a good one. When did the library at Hellbore come out? July 22nd. So, it's also funny because Lucky Day is in this. I think we're going to go with the library at Hellbore, which is great because I have 2 copies from 2 different boxes and I don't need both of them, so I want to read it and decide which one I want. So the library at Hellbore will be book 3. I have started the library at Hellebore. It's not just Hellbore, Hellebore. I am going to go in and get my smoothie, and I have to take some stuff to the library, drop them off, and pick up some new books. So I think I'm going to drive there and listen to like a little bit more of the audiobook and then give you my thoughts once I'm there. It's going to be a car vlog day because after that I have to go to pick up some envelopes for Halloween weekend bookmarks and stickers. If you're not aware, I am hosting a readathon in October. It has been brought back. It is now combining my TBR game and the format of the readathon previously. So it's every long weekend roughly whenever you want, Thursday night to Sunday night in your time zone, and we are investigating this haunted house and hunting these ghosts. So this is what the game board looks like. I'm really excited. You can collect equipment to help you investigate ghosts. You can just investigate the ghost. You can just kind of spend some time in a haunted house and walk around. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I really love the bookmarks. But I was a little ill-prepared. A lot of it, okay, well, here's the thing. The announcement was pushed back. It was supposed to be the weekend before it was announced, and then I ordered these really cute glow-in-the-dark stickers that have the like ghost logo, and the company did not send them to me. I emailed them on the day they were supposed to be delivered, like the last day they were supposed to get in, and they were like, oh, oops, and they had to reprint them and send them to me, so they didn't get to me until 4 days later, and then I had to go take my dad to like a pre-scheduled procedure, and then I was supposed to be there for less than 24 hours, and then that's when my sister got the last minute surgery, so I wasn't able to film the video until Sunday, the day that it went up. Like, it was a whole very chaotic thing. So yeah, I definitely did want that to be up a week earlier so people have more time to prepare, but it is what it is. People seem to be excited about it, and I am also excited. I'm gonna go get my smoothie. I'm really excited, and I'm kind of hungry, and it's like a peanut butter protein one, because I never get enough protein, because like I don't want to just eat a piece of meat. I don't know. Anyway, I'll talk to you soon about the library at Hellebore. We are crooked at this angle, but I'm on my phone, and that's what we are limited to. So I just got my library books. These are all holds that just came in. So I got The Way Up is Death, which I have had checked out from the library before, but I had like a wait. Well, I didn't have a wait. There was a wait. Somebody else wanted it directly after me, and I didn't get to it in time, so I just got this one. And then the other ones that I got were Beta Vulgaris, which is a debut eco horror. I think has something to do with beats. I also got Her Many Faces, which I think might be another debut. And then the last one is We Live Here Now by Sarah Pinborough, which is my October Patreon buddy read. It was between this and Lucky Day for, what month are we in? September. That one ended up winning, but this one had like almost the same amount of votes. Oh, actually, I think it ended up getting more votes, but later than I filmed my TBR. So I'm reading The Library at Hellebore. This is the copy that I decided that I was going to carry around. I'm at 41% in, which I believe is 109 pages in. 110. So the synopsis, I don't even know what it tells me, but also if you don't like creepy things, look away for a second. This is what I'm looking at when I read the synopsis. So we are at Hellebore, which is a technical institute for the gifted. It's this place where people with powers go to kind of be safer for the general population. So a lot of these people are very dangerous. There's antichrists, death workers, world eaters, apocalypse makers, and they promise to like reform these people. It's not jail, but like they are forced to be there and they can't leave until their like time and their education is up. So we're following Elisa, and she is kidnapped and forced to be at Hellebore. So I'm just gonna read this paragraph to you. But the Institute is more than just a haven for monsters. On graduation day, the faculty embark on a ravenous rampage, feasting on their students. Trapped in the school's cavernous library, Elisa and her surviving classmates must do something they were never taught: work together. If they don't, the school will eat them alive. So everybody here is like some sort of monster in whatever format. They're all dangerous, and on the day of graduation, pretty much every single classmate of theirs is eaten. The professors eat all but I believe 7 of them, and they are told that they have like 3 days, and there's like this competition kind of thing. It's very interesting. The gore in this is a very high amount. From page 1, literally page 1, there is extreme gore. Somebody ripped apart and strewn across an entire room. If any amount of gore bothers you, don't read this, but like it's really gory, and at first I was into it, and now I'm losing a little bit of interest because I don't know if the characters are that interesting. So I have read Nothing But Blackened Teeth by this author, and I also DNF'd whatever the water one is. I just realized I never switched this to my microphone. Well, the audio might be a little better now with the lack of car noise. I don't film on my phone anymore. I used to, and I had a different mic than like this little one, but that mic lives on my camera now, and that just is automatically connected, and I have to switch to this one being connected. So sorry you could hear car noises. So that's really all I have to say. I think that I'm not as interested as I want to be. At first I was like, what is going on? I need to know all the information, and now I'm feeling kind of detached from it, and I don't know why. I ended up giving Nothing But Blackened Teeth 2.5 stars. I thought that it was fine, but I kind of had the same issue where I felt so removed from the story and didn't really care about what was going on. That one was also like a group of friends trapped somewhere, and I do think that this is better expanded upon. I think Cassandra Khaw has some really, really great ideas, but I don't know if the way she chooses to execute things is my personal favorite. At first, within the first couple pages, I was like, this could be 5 stars. And then once they got trapped in this library, I feel like not much has happened besides just like gore itself, which is like fine sometimes, and sometimes I'm very entertained by it, but maybe because I don't picture things when I read that's impacting things, I'm not really sure. But I am liking it. So I think at this point, I'm probably just going to finish it because I'm already 40% in, unless there's something else that comes up that I actually want to talk about. I am going to show you the thing that I get at Michael's, so I have to go get envelopes that I was talking about, but I also got this like skeleton thing that I definitely need to show you because I love it. We have a lot to chat about. So I have, where's my book, finished the library at Hellbore. I also went to a book event this past weekend, so I got some books signed, and I would love to get to one of them in this video. I have finished one of them. Monica and I listened to it in the car, so I obviously won't be... Oh, that's so cute! There's a stamp in here. I obviously wouldn't be, like, vlogging it, but I would tell you my thoughts on that one. I think I'm going to give this one 3 stars. I do think this is my favorite from this author. And it's interesting because sometimes gore is just like not my thing, and in this one the way that it was done both furthered the story and was just like done in a very disturbing but interesting way because it was involving these like fantastical things. I will say a lot of this went over my head, and I don't really love Cassandra Khaw's writing. I feel very disconnected from everything, but I think this had some really incredible concepts. I don't know how to talk about the rest of this book. It is very cosmic horror. It is creatures, weird things, monsters. I kind of don't know what happened, but I overall did enjoy it, even though it wasn't my absolute favorite. So we are not very far into this map. I wouldn't call it a reading slump because it's extending into like various things in my life, not just reading, but because I have read 3 other books this month. If they fit, I'm going to put them on the map. So The Hungry Dark and Done and Dusted I did read in my Spin the TBR video that I posted at the beginning of this month, so I will have that linked if you're interested in my thoughts on those. So I have the dice up again. Hopefully this one goes better than last time. Oh, sorry, that was blurry. 8. Okay. So on the map, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we are on training. And I know you could like randomize this and all this stuff, but I don't have anything printed. So what number training are we on? 7? So what is training number 7? Close quarters combat is the probability well in the mountain. Make sure your knife skills are up to par. Read a book with an isolated setting. So for the ones I've already read, I wouldn't say that any of them really count. But the exciting thing is that Our Last Resort does. The whole thing isn't isolated, but the one part of it, it's a hotel in a secluded desert that we are getting to watch, and then also this cult I think is fairly isolated. So I did get this signed this weekend, and I think this will be my pick for isolation. Oh, nope, not that lighting. Glasses make everything so difficult. Okay, I have made it 33% into Our Last Resort. I think I mentioned this, but I read and really enjoyed The Quiet Tenant by this author. So 33% in, we are in 2 timelines. We are following the same 2 characters in both timelines. So in the past, let me see if I can find their names because I just never know that. Frida and Gabriel. So they are siblings, and by siblings, they grew up in a cult together, and they were obviously not in a great position, and they really relied on each other. They leaned on each other to kind of survive. So we are learning about that in their past, and then we are also watching them in the present day as they are going to Ara Hotel, which is a secluded desert in Escalante, Utah. So when they were growing up, they were so close. They had a lot of like survival tactics. They finish each other's sentences. They are truly who they are relying on in this community. There's this, of course, there's this really annoying guy that is in charge of all of it, as it goes in these kind of cult books. There's always a man, and he is manipulative and like won't allow medical care and just ridiculous things. I understand how people get themselves into cult situations, but also I like don't at the same time. Okay, so what does the synopsis say? Okay, so I don't want to talk too much about the past because most of that is not in the synopsis, but we are leading up to them not being a part of the cult anymore and drifting apart, because we know in the present day they haven't really spoken to each other in a while. They do not have this relationship that they used to, but they are going to this place to kind of reform their bond. It says there was a sudden unspeakable tragedy, so we're gonna learn about that, I guess, in the past. This is a very fancy resort that they are now at. They want to reconnect. It feels like paradise until the dead body of a beautiful young woman who is vacationing at the Ara with her powerful, much older husband is discovered. And they happen to witness what seems like this big fight between this couple the night before, and they are trying to leave early, which seems suspicious. So then Gabriel, the guy, ends up getting the suspicion put on him because he has like gone through some things in his life. So when the suspicion falls on him, she is forced to revisit memories of their upbringing, the dramatic escape, and the scandal. She has always believed in his innocence because there's some stuff that we have learned about, but now she's starting to kind of question everything. So where I am right now, this murder has just been claimed to be a murder. It was always kind of like seemed like it was, but now like the police are there and they're like, nobody should leave, and we're just getting the beginnings of this stuff in the cult. I don't feel very invested in anything at this moment. I do think that I was a little more drawn into The Quiet Tenant. That one was a little bit more just like a tight-knit group of people, and I think the characters worked a little bit more for me. So I'm liking it, but I'm not loving anything. I do think that there's a chance that I will become more invested once we learn more about everything in their past, because I'm very interested in cult things. I just truly cannot fathom, and I think it's so intriguing. I'm having a good time. I'm hoping it continues to move towards like not maybe a faster pace, but just some more intriguing things happening when some of these secrets are revealed. I have spent a lot of time at my desk, but I'm currently packing Patreon bookmarks, and I've been listening to more of the audiobook of Our Last Resort. So while I'm doing that, I wanted to chat with you because I am now to chapter 37, which is a little over 200 pages, maybe 225? Okay, 226. So I am really liking this. I think the more that it has gone on, the more I am enjoying it. I do think that the way that these two stories are woven together is working for me. Sometimes I think that they can be more or less interesting in one timeline versus the other, but I think that the author is doing a pretty good job at making me care enough about both. That being said, I'm not obsessed with either of the storylines. They are entertaining enough, but I am not obsessed. So I am enjoying the dynamic between Frida and, I already forget his name. Nathan? That doesn't sound right. Gabriel. I don't know where I got Nathan from. I am enjoying seeing their dynamic. Also, while we're here, I'm just going to show you these. I have these 2 bookmarks. This one is Squid Game inspired, and then this is one that matches a frog one that I did last year. So I'm packing these up. We did just find out some very juicy information that like isn't unexpected, but it also wasn't completely expected either. So I am liking their sibling dynamic and everything that comes with that from the cult. And within like cult things, you never really know like true family situations and things like that. We have been learning more about everything that happened with him in the past because he is the suspect for this case. The primary suspect, and our main character is like, there's literally no reason for this other than the fact that he was involved in something in the past. So we are learning about everything that happened with him, and the murder of his dead wife and their relationship as a group, because our main character had a relationship with her as well. I forget what her name is. Maybe Alice, something like that. These stickers are really hard to take the back off of. I have like super off-center stickers from Escape the Readathon that I'm using to just like keep these together. So I'm liking it. I am entertained. I think it's really easy to get through, but I'm not obsessed with either plotline, either part of the story. It's fairly generic. It's entertaining enough. I'm liking seeing everybody interacting with each other, finding out what's going on. It is the last day of the month, so that's really great. I do have less than an hour left of listening time for our last resort. I will be able to finish this super soon. I'm currently on Patreon sprints, and I might be able to finish that during these sprints. I might not. I might have to do it a little bit after. Now we're taking a little bit of a break, and I will be on closing sprints on Mel's channel. So I need to get through these books, speed read, and I think this is a good one to do that with because I am invested and it's entertaining. I finished my book. I literally like just finished it, and I ended up really enjoying this. I am gonna give it 4 stars. It wasn't anything that was like the most groundbreaking or exciting or tense or stressful book, but I had a really fun time with it. So there is a reveal that happens at some point towards the end that didn't surprise me, but then it led to a lot of interesting events that occurred after that. I liked the direction it went in. I thought it was fun. I think that part was a little unique. I overall really enjoyed this one. I will continue to read from Clémence Michelon. That's probably a horrific pronunciation, but I really liked it. I also enjoyed seeing her talk at this event that I went to, and I think that her ideas on things and what she wants to explore in her books are things that I will continue to enjoy moving forward. Just dynamics between people, how different aspects of the world and how people act she wants to explore. Like, I think I will really enjoy that. So I would recommend this one if you like thrillers, especially if you liked her last book. There's not like similar things, but like a couple similar like things that she is just exploring in her books. So very much enjoyed this one. I had a lot of fun with it, and I'm glad that I read it like immediately after getting this copy, so it didn't sit on my shelves for a while, because I do tend to do that. So I did do our next roll last night, so we are going to go back to that. So the next roll, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that puts us on objective 3, which is to read a book with an action word in the title. Perfect run for the hills works. So objective 3 is completed. So in this we are following these siblings. We're mostly following Madeline. She goes by Mad, and she is a farmer. She lives with her mom and her dad abandoned her 20 years ago, disappeared out of nowhere, and she has not heard from him since. So then this man named Ruben pulls up in a PT Cruiser and claims to be her brother. He says that her dad is his dad, lived with them for about 10 years. He's about 10 years older than her, and then he left them, disappeared without a trace. And he has recently hired a private investigator to find out where his dad is, and along the way found out about all of these siblings. So Ruben goes by Rube, and Mad are not the only two. There are at least 2 others. So she decides to go with him, and they go off on this road trip to find all of their siblings. Seems like they're all about 10 years apart, so very interesting dynamics with that. They are connecting with each other in these various ways, learning about the circumstances that they all grew up in, because they were actually all very different. The thing that kind of brings them together is the way the dad left. So they want to find out what is happening with him, have him explain himself and his actions and everything. I ended up giving this one between a 3.5 and 4 star, but I'm probably going to round it up to 4 stars because I just looked at my rating for his last one, Now It's Not the Time to Panic, and I gave that one 3.5, and I liked this one more. His books are all very funny, they're entertaining, there's some very heartwarming moments in it. I was like belly laughing at some of the stuff in here, so 4 stars feels pretty good. I'm not generally just like a contemporary fiction general kind of reader, but Kevin Wilson is one that I will pick up because one of his books, Nothing to See Here, is one of my favorites. So this does complete objective 3, and we can roll one more time. Unless we don't get a 3, we better get a 3 at least, because that's all we need to get to objective 4. So we have, no, don't want that, this, 6. Okay, so that takes us to objective 4, which is the last prompt we have to fulfill. For this one, I am going to read In the Weeds by B.K. Borison. I'm doing a buddy read of this with Monica and Mel. We started this on the trip on the way home yesterday, and currently 73 pages in. I feel like romance are quick reads, pretty fast paced, so this will work for that. And so far I'm enjoying it. Glasses glare, you know. I am 110 pages into In the Weeds. If you can see here, I have First Time Caller. It is one of my favorite books of the year, and I really enjoyed Love Light Farms, which is the first book in the series. I gave that one 4 stars. So I'm excited to be continuing in this series. So in this one, we are following Beckett and Evelyn, who goes by Evie, and we do meet them in the first, I almost said first chapter, in the first book. Evie plays a very prominent role in the plot in the first one, but it's very interesting because her relationship with Beckett starts before that book. So we do see that the very beginning of this is their one night stand hookup that we learn about in the first book, and then we see a little tiny bit of that, like Evelyn's feelings on everything, and then the rest of the book takes place after Love Light Farms. So she decides to go back to the last place she was happy. She is a blogger. She runs this whole thing promoting small businesses, so that was part of the first book. And Beckett works on Love Light Farms. So she decides that she's feeling unhappy with everything she's going through. She's working with people who are forcing sponsorships that she does not feel fits with what she wants to be doing. She decides to take a break, and the last place she happened to be happy was on Love Light Farms. So this is, I guess, a second chance romance between Beckett and Evelyn. They had this connection within their one night stand, and then they had some stuff happen in Love Light Farms, and now she is going back to, not necessarily the reason she went back was to explore things with him, but she really enjoyed this place and the feelings she got when she was there, and now they are continuing their relationship considering they have a whole book. Where I am right now, they have just had like small little interactions with each other. I like this town. We are getting more glimpses of it. It's a very ridiculous, like unrealistic, over the top kind of town where they have like phone trees where like they're calling each other about gossip, and it's like just like silly and fun. Definitely not realistic, but I'm really enjoying it. It's one that is like so far so good, not obsessed. With First Time Caller, immediately into it and invested. And this one, while I'm having a good time, I can put it down and it is not life ruining for me to not continue. I really like BK Borson's writing and I'm excited to continue. The Readathon Rebellion is over. Did I escape? Yes, I did finish In the Weeds last night, but I finished it literally right before Dancing with the Stars and could not be bothered to talk to you about it. I'm gonna give this one 3 stars. Okay. Parts of this pissed me off. I was so annoyed with the like third act conflict in here because it was stupid. It was stupid and I just don't understand why it was done in that way. There is so much miscommunication and I think that like that is fine in books because it does happen in real life, but the way that everything happened felt so unrealistic. I don't want to tell you too much, but there is like a thing that happens in the first book that's just like kind of glossed over, but it impacts some feelings moving into the second one. And then there's something that happens and information is shared but not seen. I don't know how to explain that to you. And then the reaction to like not thinking that the information was shared was very extreme, but like I get it to an extent, but then there's like explanation of things that is not accepted and it like really made me angry and I feel like it didn't fit with the rest of the book too. And if this was me in this situation, no, I am not. You will not see me crawling back to you. Nope. No. Like it was actually infuriating because it just like didn't make any sense to me. So 3 stars because I do like this world. I like BK Borson's writing. I liked the characters outside of this part, but that really made me annoyed. I would have given it 3.5 without all of that. I didn't feel a true chemistry between these characters. I liked the struggles that our main character Evelyn was going through. I liked seeing her figure out what she wanted to be doing and finding things that made her happy. But like their relationship, there was never a part that I was like, I love this so much. And while that's maybe not ideal in a romance, like I generally enjoyed my time with the book. So that is it for the Readathon Rebellion. I have made it through the whole map, cutting it very close, but I got through a really good stack of books. I will have Mel's channel linked in the description. This will be back next year. I have heard a little bit of hints about what is to come, and I'm very excited, and I think you should be as well. If you're looking for an October readathon, I do have my Hollow Weekend readathon linked in the description for you. I will have vlogs for that, as well as TBR Harvest, hosted by Leandra, the TBR Zero. If you made it to the end and want to leave me an emoji to say you were here, you can leave me a flower for In the Weeds. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope to see you in my next one. Bye.